favorite thing to do is to talk. And, we need to do breath work with you, David?
And breathe.
So my favorite thing to do is to get people talking. I came to this because I'm fairly concerned about what's going on in the world. It looks like it's a really unique time in history, that humans are going through a dramatic change at every level. And there's indications we may actually be waking up as kind of a global species. And about almost 20 years ago, I heard a man ask a group of people, what's the greatest challenge facing humanity today? And there's a long list everybody knows about, war and nuclear waste and, loss of habitat and loss of diversity and extinction and pollution and population. He said, those are all really, really big challenges, but they're all secondary, because until we can sit in the same room with other people who have very different ideas than we do and listen to those ideas, and when we disagree with them, not resort to violence to have our way and not leave because we don't get our way, but to actually hang in there and find something new, we won't make any headway on those challenges. And that's sort of a lightning bolt moment in my life where I just said, oh my God, the power of conversation is phenomenal. And so that was about almost 20 years ago, and I spent the last 20 years studying the role of conversation in human communities and human organizations, and how to talk together effectively to make things happen where people decide what it is they want to have happen and then walk through the steps to make that happen. So conversation is my thing.
At one level, it seems ridiculous that that seems like the most straightforward thing in the world to do, that we can talk to one another, decide what we're collectively going to do, and then figure out ways of having it happen, or of doing it. And yet, it's not really an experience that I've had in my life of being in those kinds of situations where this happens. Generally in organizations, it's far more, I don't know, it doesn't work like that. I mean, what's your...
I've noticed that. I learned most of what I've learned and most of what I know comes from observing where we have breakdowns. And by breakdown, I simply mean that there's an interruption in flow. We say we want to get to point A, and we take 2 steps and find out that we've got something going on that prevents us from getting there. So breakdown can be positive, negative. It just means an interruption in flow. So by paying attention to where people's ability to coordinate their meaning and their action in conversation breaks down, you can begin to remedy that and start to model something different. So, the other thing you say is that you're describing something that's simple but not easy. The essence of the work that I do is getting people with diverse ideas to come together, talk about what's meaningful to them, explore what's possible, and then coordinate their collective action to make something happen, and then to learn and reflect on what happened so that they can, next time around, do something even better.
Right.
So that's really simple, but it is not easy. And this distinction between simple and easy is something that eludes most people. We think simple means easy, and it doesn't. I study martial art called Qigong. I have a teacher who's been practicing for 35 years the particular form that he teaches me. He can make a very simple move that looks really easy. When I try it, I discover that it's not easy, because he's done it thousands of times and I'm trying it for the very first time, and it's really hard to coordinate, to get my brain to send the right signal to my muscles and my breath and my eyes and have everything flow into one thing. There's a lot of coordination going on behind the scenes. So yes, it's simple, but it's not easy. And the same thing with human beings in conversation. It's very simple, but it's not easy.